also. So question 21 is usually a very misleaded question. Very misleaded because your eyes actually trick you to think that this is like a parallelogram. So a lot of you, right, like mentally, right, you kind of assume this is a parallelogram. So you assume it without realizing it. So that's what happened to most people. Because for the pure fact that it looks parallel. But the truth is nothing is said about them being parallel. So most of you are tricked by these two lines that looks parallel. So before we got any properties to prove parallel, you're not supposed to. Okay, so this is one of the trick for this question. So how I know that you got tricked, right? If you cannot get part 2 correct, A part 2 or like something, you cannot get A part 2 correct, usually your thinking is already wrong. So the first one, most of you are okay. The first one, okay, these are the two parallel lines. And most of you can tell me that that is an interior angle, this part. So most of you can tell me this is a 102 because 180 minus 78 equal to 102. It's just an interior angle. But if you quote the wrong property, I got to minus mark. I think one or two of you quote the wrong one. So if you mention alternate angle or corresponding angle, I will minus the mark because it's not correct. And if you quote the interior angle, please quote the parallel line. So it's AE parallel to CD. So the reason is just very simple. It's just like that. We don't have to say grandmother sorry. The next one, right? BCD. If I don't see you quoting pentagon, polygon, that means you are on the wrong track. So most people never realize that this angle here can be found by using interior angle of a pentagon. Can you see this is a 5-sided figure? Later on, I'm teaching my set 1 on this one. Can you see this is a 5-sided figure? So actually, right, you can use the angle sum of pentagon. So most people will end up trying to explain isosceles triangle, this and that, all that. But the more straightforward one is to use an interior angle. Okay, so you can do the calculation here. Total interior angle, that is a pentagon, 5-sided. Okay, I hope you still remember this formula. So you will get a 540. So therefore, it will be 540 subtracting all the other angle. So that's it. You just have to mention about the total interior angle and then you do your subtraction. So the answer is 96. I got some of you are giving me correct answer, but the reasoning is wrong. So you will get penalized for that. Okay, so from here, right, the next thing is I got to explain that ACDE is a parallelogram. So in another words, I need to prove these two lines are parallel. Proving parallel. So I need to prove parallel. So I need to prove these two lines to be parallel. This is where you mention about the isosceles triangle. So this is where you mention this isosceles triangle. Yeah, just work it out here first to show you. So you cannot treat that they are already parallel. So you got to do all the other working. You got to show me this is 18. You got to show me that this is 120 minus 18 to give you a 102. That means you calculate them out separately. And in the end, these two add up to 180 degrees. So this is by the converse of interior angle. So you got to explain to me the 18 degree. So you got to explain the isosceles, how you get the 18 degree, and then how you get this part as a 108. I can't even see this. The 108 is CAE. So you've got to explain how you get the 102. Sorry, how you get the 102. And then the 102 add up with the 78. So it is the converse of interior angle. With the converse, then these two lines are parallel. AC is parallel to ED. Hence, with this parallel and the original parallel, we can prove that ACDE is a parallelogram. So as long as you need to prove parallel, you must do them separately. So you calculate the angle separately, and then it happens to add up to 180. So that is the same idea as plane geometry as well. So in plane geometry, we also try to do parallel, prove parallel. So it is the same idea. So that's the reasoning that we're talking about. Okay, your syllabus has changed in such a way that there is a certain percentage of question that needs reasoning. So I think it's better that you over-explain than you under-explain. But of course, explain with proper property or reasoning or whatever geometrical property that you know. So in this case, my geometrical property is the interior angle.